Hey guys, Odo King Live coming at you again for another Pickups of the Week episode. So as you can see in front of you here, and probably from the thumbnail, is that we got a whack ton of, Nintendo Japanese games. One of my local pawn shops pulled in a whole bunch of Japanese games there a few weeks back, and I mean, I live in a relatively small town and no one's buying this stuff except me. So for a while I just kind of, him and hawing on it. And I'm like, dude, give me a deal, He had some rare titles in there they didn't want to part with for cheap prices, like, like Donkey Kong, some Marios, things like that. He wanted like $50 for those kind of thing. And I'm all like nuts to that. So I'm like, give me your scraps. So what we worked out here was I pretty much wanted to spend $100. So I got $100 worth of scraps, which unfortunately were a little scrappier than I thought. He threw out all these Super Nintendo games, which I didn't even look at. He's just like, okay, give me like $60 for this pile of Super Nintendo games. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I'm like, let's throw some more in. So we worked in some Nintendo and some decent 64, and then it all came to $100. So let's start with the Super Nintendo. This is where my initial disappointment began. First off, 2 of this. It's the same dang game. But get ready for loads and loads of pachinko and slot games. That is what pretty much all these are outside of the occasional racing game and sports game. So, I mean, these are slot games. I mean, it's like going to the casino, well, at home on your Super Nintendo. So, slot game. This is, goody gosh, it's golf. And not just golf, but a golf simulator. And then, then you get into your soccer games, which is pretty popular in Japan. So you got Excite Stage 94, a little bit of soccer. Then you got, another slot game. Woo, needed more of those. Let's see what else we got here. These ones, they looked interesting from the front until I saw them. Oh, pachinko games. And I'm like, oh, goody, Parlor 2. And then, well, at least here's Parlor. Another pachinko game. And then as soon as I saw J-League on this one, yep, that's a soccer game. At least it's colorful and with, cute cartoon animals on it. And then, another pachinko game. Yay! But, I mean, originally, what was that? 5,500 yen, so about, roughly $50, marked down to 40. Oh, dear God. And then we got this racing game, which at least is kind of cool. Super Circus 2. It's probably supposed to be Circuit, but whatever. It's one thing I can say about these games, at least, is that the boxes and everything, for the most part, are mint. They're all complete. They all have manuals. They all have everything, so I can't complain. And then we got a, wrestling game, which is like, one of the old Fire Pros type games. It's done by Messiah, which is impressive. They were always a good company back in the day. And then, I thought this one looked more interesting until I noticed, oh, yeah, pachinko game. And then the last one, which is just this bizarre thing, although Hudson Soft, can't complain there. And this looks pretty much like an adventure type, sports type, just party type game. So, whatever. So I paid about $60 for all these. It was roughly about $4 a game. Again, I didn't realize there was so many pachinko and sports titles in here. But you get what you get. And then let's move on to the Famicom Nintendo. We got Final Lap here, which is nice. It's in the one of these plastic cases, which is like borderline impossible to open. It's kind of cool though. It has a little manual protector right there to hold the manual in. The game snaps in there, kind of like a la Sega Genesis cart. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't really know if I have too many plastic case games. And then these two were kind of nice. I was surprised by these two. I got Tetris Flash and Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss. Whatever these Tetris games are, to my knowledge, they never came out here in North America. And I'm kind of surprised by that, considering how popular Tetris was. So I didn't really mind those two. And then these two was kind of what I was after. You got me them for about $7.50 each. I think it was about $15 for the two. The Japanese version of Wave Race and Japanese Tamagotchi. These, unfortunately, cases are a little more smashed up. But what really impressed me about the Japanese titles is that they came with a plastic inside case. the North American ones had the recycled cardboard. Well, these are all hard plastic, which even then, if the game gets stomped on, it's still going to hang in there. And check that out. Nintendo 64, you know, engraved right in the plastic. I mean, that is sick. I really enjoy that about the Japanese titles. Because even the Super Nintendo games are the exact same thing. They have the hard plastic. Let's open this J-League title here to show you. See, hard plastic inside. The manual's on top. There's your game. And then again, the hard plastic. This one does not have the Nintendo engraving. Most of them do. But I'll just throw that over here for now. Oh, it's another Hudson Soft title. And make a huge mess, and then carry on with this. And then another one you just threw in there, which is this Exhaust Heat. They wanted $10 for it. I was like, yeah, right. Another racing game. The only unboxed game I got. And then the second last game he threw in was this Naruto 2 on the GameCube. The Japanese GameCube games were quite unusual. They have a paper sleeve on the outside, and then inside it's just a plastic case with just the manual inside, like no cover, back art. Again, little plastic thing here to hold the manual in. There's for your memory card. And then your game's just right there. So the GameCube games were a lot different than the North American releases. That is the first Japanese GameCube game I've ever owned. Same with the 64 games. And then I was at $95. I'm like, come on, man, throw something else in for $5. So he threw in this Game Boy Color Monopoly Japan title. It's mint. I mean, I could say that. It is crispy mint. And so that made my $100. Not terrible. Like I said, it roughly comes out to about $4 a game. Couldn't really complain about it. I've been wanting some more Japanese games, but I wanted, slightly better games. But you take what you get. And then while I was there, even though non-game related, I picked up Season 3 and 4 of Bleach, just for if any of my anime fans are watching. I've had 1, 2, 5, and 6 forever, so I was pretty happy to finally get 3 and 4. Only $18, if that ever wants to focus, $18 on set 3, and then the 2 for 4 were $8 each. I'm not sure why 4 was released not in a box. 1, 2, 3, and 5 were released in a box set for some reason, but 4 was released like that. I don't know. I thought that was dumb. But anyways, that's it for this week's pickups. No yard sales, no other types of flea markets. I had my $100 and I decided to go after Japanese games for some reason. So leave one of these and leave a comment. Maybe you got some Japanese games. Let me know. And you know what? See you next week. And feel free to check out my other stuff if you want. And talk to you later. Peace.